peeps? It's your girl Dash, come back to Peripheral Takes. Well, it's that time again. It's reaction time. This will be for the series titled The Peripheral. This is through Amazon Prime. I have been wanting to do this one. I remember seeing the trailer, I want to say earlier in the year, maybe I think about early springtime, and I was really vibing off of the overall, definitely the look, the story, the action, of course, give me a science fiction vibe. Always here for something good as science fiction. So definitely was intrigued to actually watch the show. Also with the fact that at the center of it, of course, is going to be the character played by Chloe Grace Moretz. Fan of some of her work. I think the first one I remember watching back when she, like say over 10 plus years or so ago, was the movie Let Me In. Liked her in Kick-Ass, Kick-Ass 2, of course Equalizer, Greta, Suspiria, the remake of Carrie, just to name a few. She has a nice little body of work for just constantly, just the girl stays busy. So seeing that she has this new series out and I'm really liking what I'm seeing, I said, okay, this will be one of the new ones I'll be reacting to, God willing. Nothing gets flagged and I'm able to do all episodes of this actual series. I don't know if I think it's either 6 or 8 episodes. I didn't verify or check, but as I stated, with this one, I'm gonna try to knock an episode out at least every 5 days at the most. Sometimes if I can get up sooner, I will, especially as if the storyline is definitely flowing really good and I'm getting excited and hype every time I watch one. Then I'm gonna try to get them out sooner than later. So with that said, this one doesn't have a title. It's called, of course, The Pilot. So with that said, let's just go and jump into it. I'll say the rest of my thoughts at the end, you guys.
When I first found you, I made a vow. I'd save you if I could.
And you did.
Did I?
What are you up to, Lisa?
Goodbye, Wolf.
Lisa? Lisa?
Morning, Mama. Brush some coffee. Just be careful, it's a little hot. Ate yours yesterday, and please don't try to tell me otherwise.
I wasn't hungry.
Can't keep losing weight, Mama. You're gonna end up in the hospital again. Do you care to tell me what Mama's last time eating only 10 milligrams?
Step in real quick, I gotta pee.
Have you been stopping pills with Mama? She's got a 10 milligram pill. How much you got?
1,000 if I make it to the next level, which you could maybe help with.
That's just one pill.
Which is one day, ain't it? And I got something big coming tonight.
Alright, orient me.
Squad of Nazis in the house. We're in the bar.
Who's waiting?
Me and Race and some dude from California. You hired us to get him past level 20.
Give me a sec. You want to guess why y'all didn't find that map?
Why?
Still haven't arrived yet.
You're welcome. She's okay. Yeah, thanks for asking. What you doing here? Making an effort run afoul of the law at long last.
Well, not quite yet. Give him time. But Billy Ann is waiting on you. With some nubbins, so you're warned.
Thank you. See you, Tony. What was I supposed to say?
How about you don't? I imagine myself inside a lion.
Really, a lion?
Doesn't matter, just picking on them. And then, all sultry. You value your time. And it says short, because well, that's what he said. How much does Burton get jockeying for rich folks?
A lot more than he deserves.
And you could earn even more, as long as you use his avatar, that is, and they don't realize it's a girl doing it.
Eat like gross cold I did.
Covered all overhead for the month of the process, too.
And what's it supposed to do?
So it's some sort of remote piloting gizmo.
Now, you two were positive. He ain't paying nothing for this.
Not a dime.
Not personal. Customer requested chain to custody.
It looks weird. What are all the silver prongs for?
Folks want me to beta test it for a shitload of money, too. Put us in the clear for months.
Why you?
Turns out I'm one of the few jockeys ever to reach the 100th level in-house.
No, Bert. I don't have time for this shit. I gotta put
This
dinner
here's the only way we're gonna pay for all this time.
on. This is not working.
Is this like your other Sims?
No fucking way. I can feel things. Everything.
Great fear of your wit, should you possess such a thing. Let's look lively now, someone's waiting.
I could introduce myself and then spend the next hour leaning close, complimenting you. I could ask you to take me home.
Or
I could ask you now.
Right to the point.
Who's this?
your mom's a little puppet. Let's resume this tomorrow, shall we? Holy shit! Like being there. Like I was actually in your body.
Felt like an upgrade, I bet.
No, it felt fucking weird is what it felt like.
Well, you must have done something right because they want you back tomorrow, and they just bumped up the money.
You might need a little bit of help with your math here, Flynn.
I just want the one pill. I'll come back here tomorrow and pick up the rest.
Maybe you should try your luck performing John. See if they're a little more amenable.
How about you just give the young lady what she's asking for?
Walk away.
Why? You worried about your boyfriend?
I'm worried about you.
And I mean the very fucking worst. It's to kill two of you. Rather than the whole three. Killed you outright. Done us all a service.
It's a bullying that gives me pause. The way that drunk, crippled man handled you out there. When you look weak, I look weak. Understand?
Barney's been giving those extra pills. That's helped some. What do you mean? He says he doesn't need them so much anymore.
Hey, you know if you ever want to talk. I'm all ears.
About what?
I don't know, pain.
What are we doing?
You're gonna be enough. And open some doors for me.
What is this place?
You're facing the palm of my hand. Eternity.
Really?
What happened?
Never again. Never fucking again.
You just listen very closely. You're in
You're in grave danger. Everything you believe about your experience with the headset is wrong.
Everything. The situation is far more complex and far more perilous than you could possibly imagine.
Because the car is invisible. That's what I'm saying.
There's reason to believe that you will find the intended target.
And you keep getting that girl like, listen now.
The offer has been accepted by the last you must return back in.
So it's that company trying to contact me.
What company?
Milagros, whatever, the Colombian one. He said someone put a hit on us for $9 million in the dark net. Fuck off. Y'all can laugh. He had a fair ways, but he's just trying to freak me out.
Did he say why?
No, he didn't say why. He said I just need to sign in again so he can help us.
He's just trying to get you back in the harness. I'll call him off.
Current state. We all had warning and chose not to believe it. Like $9 million bounty.
Still got those drones in your car? Looks like somebody trying hunting for that $9.
All right, you guys. I enjoyed this first episode. I now can see I'm going to be truly invested with this show. Okay. My mind's kind of all over the place. I'm just going to see what I can remember here. The character Chloe's playing, her name's Flynne. We see her brother, and that's the actor. I had to pull the name up. His name is Jack Rayner. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. He plays Burton, the brother, and then they have a mother. It looks like Flynn's character, works in a small town, running, looks like, I don't know if it's gadgets or whatever in this actual place, like, computers, things like that, IT tech type of stuff. So it looks like she definitely has, a vibe for that, technology. We do see where her and her brother definitely have a love of playing games, ones where, you have the setup and all that, playing different type of Sims, whichever. And something comes up where they're dealing with a little bit of a hardship, in regards to the finance thing, being that her brother plays little games here and make a little bit of money here, because certain probably medication and things they need for their mother because she's, ailment, and I'm thinking from gathering what I've watched in this first episode, I think she can't see because I remember giving her mother like the couple copies that go, it's hot, be careful, whatever. So I'm getting a visual and then probably having to watch over her. So with that, certain ailments, she needs certain medication that maybe for, certain pains, and it looks like they were run low, so meaning they have to, get a little bit more money to get this medication. At first I wasn't sure from whom. But as time goes on within the episode, you see they're dealing, with a particular man in this town. He has his little, say, goons or whatever, who hint to probably giving, if they give the money, they get the pills, whatever. Now, she's only needing one for the moment, and we'll probably give them the rest of the money. Now, what comes up in this, we do see a little, backstory a little bit with her as well, because it looks like we do see somebody she kind of cares about, but it looks like he, I think he's a police officer, is eventually supposed to be getting married. So, hopefully we'll get a little bit more addressed to that. But we do see a scene where it looks like they have some sort of technology, being that her brother's, plays these games on, but sometimes she kind of plays them and keeps playing them and does reach higher levels. And it looks like somebody wants to, get him to try out this particular, Sims or video game, and they'll pay him money, every time he logs into it, whatever, and all that, and that will help them with their money situation to, get their mother's medication, things of that nature, and nobody's breathing down their backs. Now, with that being said, watching her utilize the first time on there, of course, counting back, was very simple, going to some sort of, evening event. And then we're seeing certain characters. Now, we are not introduce everyone, but you do hear somebody talking, kind of like within the Sims to him. And her name is, I want to say, Alita. And at first, he's panning, looking around. Now, let me note, and I just caught myself because I can't continue the story without saying this. What's very key is that this was given to her brother Burton, but he asked his sister because unbeknownst to them, they're thinking he's within the game. So let me just make sure I'm clear with that from the beginning. And she's just, taking all that, because when you're playing within this particular, video game, it feels so real, like you're really there, like you're in this body. And he's, of course, given a task to get to know this particular woman. Beautiful one, sitting down with her and all that, see if you can woo her enough that she'll take you back to this place. And of course, eventually it works, and being that it came from a woman's point of view, the way she phrased it, because you see the smirk on her face, it worked. So from there, eventually they end up in a car. I like how they set up where they have a driver and of course, like an AI. And let's just say he's given more instructions. And from there, that's where you see certain things start to happen in the car with the AI, because he's asked to put some sort of alien, whatever, to knock her out. And then from there, you don't really see what happens, because it's kind of like almost like once you're on The Sims, even though, you started off, Alita's, particular character is the one that kind of stops it at a certain time, whatever, so you can't see what happened from there. So I don't know what happened to the woman. We definitely see what happened in the car from the, the scene with the AI fighting off whatever and all that, not getting killed. So at first she's, down for it. Flynn's like, oh, this is okay, this is cool, whatever. No, we made some good money. They want us to come back and do a second one. That's when the stakes get higher. And you do see the scene of her doing this particular one where, Flynn's body she's just within her brother's body burden, but she can't move. And that's when I'm like, okay, she's got herself in something helping him, and unbeknownst to him. And he's just kind of looking at her because she's kind of fluttering, but he has no idea what's really going on. The part with the scene with the eye coming out, I was just like, okay, what is going on? What is she setting him up to do or to get? My mind's just wandering, whatever. And I kid you not, we didn't get to see fully, but going into whatever this building they went to when he meets up with, Alita eventually from the first Sims, it's going to be interesting to see as time goes on what's going to happen after this episode, because I'm curious if we're going to eventually see that character again. But the way they get interrupted after she's asking him to put his eye up there, his other eye, not the eye that was, and all of a sudden it's just like this little blue light, and it seems like it's definitely effective. And he's like, someone's showing up, and at first they're dealing with him, but then they see who it is, and you can see definitely she's probably tried this or tried to intervene or get into this particular system. And they're like, we're going to figure out, who you are, whatever, and all that, and we'll come for you. So clearly, after whatever that technology he used to counter Burton, whatever, she just took it off, and he's like, her brother's like, what's going on? Like, never again, I'm going to do this, because that was a little bit too real for her, and I don't blame her about that. So what's interesting is that we do see a scene at the beginning, and I'm trying to kind of pair everything together. This gentleman who meets up with this young girl, and that scene is very interesting. I'm trying to remember, I'm going to watch it again, because I, trying to grasp the whole situation of this person needing some help and things of that nature at the beginning, but then certain things are happening. When you see the years that change, it goes from what looked like to be, what was it, 2099, then you see, I think, I want to say, I don't know if it was 2035 or something. It was, a couple of years back. It wasn't even, unless it was 2023 or 22. I could be getting the date wrong in the last one, but I definitely see 2099 for certain at the beginning. But in that whole exchange was very interesting, which I know is going to find its way in whatever's going to be happening as the episodes, and move forward in the story. But knowing that we have some gentleman who looks exactly like the same one from the beginning, reaching out to her like, you need to put the Sims on, the way everything just kind of stopped, because Alita just pretty much left Burton like hanging while he, was kind of, extracted or whatever and all that within the Sims, knocked right out, whatever, and it just kind of ended that moment within the, I don't want to say video game. So now it's put his sister in a situation she really doesn't need to be in, and now they're looking for them. Now I'm gonna tell you that scene when those men came up, and I said I couldn't be off, but I said I'm going with enough because I've watched enough movies and TV where this cop is, just getting his coffee ready to go, and he sees these men who look just solely out of, like, yeah, y'all not from here. Look at your cars, very sleek black, whatever, and then they kind of have fatigues on whatever, so something ain't right. He's falling. At first they're sped up, but then eventually they kind of fall off the grid. And when I see the track marks, I was like, is the cars invisible? And I kid you, I'm like, okay, I got that shit right. It's like, yeah, and when he told me to go on the street, I'm like, what? He's like, because I'm like, you can kill him right beside the car, but they had to do it that way so they can't be caught on the surveillance. I said, okay, I see what you did there. I said, I just didn't say anything, but I caught that. I said, But the fact that the gentleman who's trying to reach out to Flynn was like, there's a bonding on it, it's a certain amount of money, and she addresses this with, her brother Burton, and his friends visiting. Now, it brings me back to another gentleman where she's trying to get money, to the guys to get the one pill and then eventually give the other money. They don't want to do that. And I thought that was interesting. It's like, okay, granted, when you're dealing with individuals, when it comes to money and I'm sorry, drugs like that, no, they're not going to just, do you a solid. Regardless if you're always good about giving your money up, they still want what they want. And this brother comes out because he's watching, and he has the technology for, the proper seating, and he is, because you normally used to see in a wheelchair. Well, this is definitely high tech, and he goes out there and he kind of sets him straight, like lost arm, whatever, and all that. Doesn't have the full function of his legs, anymore. And he kind of let the guys know. I was like, yeah. And then sitting there bullying him, saying all types of things, whatever. He's like, when I get my chance, not to say I can't, I might not get 3, but I'm gonna get 2 of you. And the looks on their faces, like they know. And I feel like definitely a background, probably military. And it looks like from the guys, Burton and this guy's hanging around, like a little fire pit, whatever, talking, when Flynn shows up to tell her what she experienced at the store, that lets you know, when did he work with them? So I'm trying to think what happened. Another thing just jumped in my mind was the part where she showed up to bring a couple beers to her brother, and you're seeing his body and this glowing thing. And I'm like, okay, I need more. I need more information, understanding what's going on there, the pain, and then finding out that when it was all that medication, thinking her brother was taking it, come to find out it wasn't. He was too busy giving his stuff to his mother, but he's still dealing with pain. You could see he was in pain. I was literally just like, what is going on here? So I'm really fully intrigued, invested, because this is just the first episode, so I'm not gonna get all my questions answered in one, but just knowing that I'm getting enough in the storyline, and it's definitely layers, and we're going to figure out what's really going on, why they of course reached out to him to be the one to do this video game, and that's using this video game, whatever, and all that to make him do certain things for this particular woman who could be working for somebody else, or is it just her? But she looks like certain people are aware of her, and it's not a good thing. So is she a good person, bad? So much to unpack, and I have 7 more episodes to see what's going on and really figure what's happening. And definitely with my rambling, but it's just like I'm just trying to get it all out just so I can just hear it out loud to kind of grasp what's really happening. But again, just talking about it has me again truly intrigued, and again, like I stated, invested. So also, I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting. They do show up in the woods, and I'm glad the guys had their drones, because they were like, okay, let's check some stuff out. And the guys, because they're not thinking it's just her out there. They see, of course, they have the infrared on, and they can see the house. Her mother's, finally getting ready to get some rest. And she's like, oh, yeah. They're like, you sure? They talk about a bounty of $9 million or $9. You sure? Well, they look like they come to collect their $9. And the look on her face. So I feel like the second episode is going to probably go straight into giving us whatever that scene's about to pop off. Is going to get real interesting, and that's going to let Flynn know she needs to tell Burton what she experienced in that last visit using that game, because the guy was like, you need to get back in. So I feel like she's going to end up getting back in there, and that guy's going to have to help her, because clearly Alita, when she rolled out and left him hanging, thinking it was Burton, and now they're aware that she was the one with the video game and not her brother. But it's like, yeah, now they're, you know, in a position where they'll comfort her mother and her brother because what she saw and what had happened wherever she was in that moment, where they got, you know, caught by that guy, is setting off a ripple effect. So yeah, I'm feeling this. I like what I saw, the visuals, some of the, just everything looks really, really good. I'm just here for it again. All right, Chloe Grace Moretz, I'm really enjoying this this first episode. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. I already stated that I do like quite a bit of stuff that she's in, so I'm here for this. So with that said, comment below if there's anything I didn't like really, you know, harbor on, whatever. And I always like, you know, people to kind of give me their thoughts as well, so we can kind of, you know, piggyback and I can, you know, respond to that. Yes, I'm really looking forward to episode 2. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next reaction. You guys take care.